Hi, my name is Jesse Durham, and we're back for another installment of our quote series where we cover a famous quote and how it relates to the infinite banking concept. So today's quote, and I challenge you, let me know if you have heard this or not. Money doesn't grow on trees. Now, this is going to be a lot of fun. I can remember from the first time that I picked up books like Becoming Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash or Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then some others, okay, that were completely opposite, let's say. They were in a different camp, okay, and I'm okay with gleaning the best from both worlds. You know, you might have a Dave Ramsey that says, slash the budget, beans and rice, cut the fat out of your life, grow some discipline in your backbone, etc. Okay. Whereas over here you'd have a Robert Kiyosaki saying, well, don't say I can't afford it, say ask how can I afford it. So again, there's merit there in both of those. So regardless of where you're at, here we're going to find what is common for everybody, and that is who controls the banking function in your life. You know, we're going to look at this quote of money doesn't grow on trees from this perspective of the infinite banking concept, becoming your own banker. So again, I'd love to hear who's heard of this, who hasn't. Money doesn't grow on trees. Well, let's start by sharing something that actually started to make me laugh before I hit the record button right here. I was thinking about analogies. That's just how I think. You know, Jesus Christ taught with parables himself. I got to laughing and thinking about a scenario of, you know, if you had a room to clean, sure, a broom can do the job. There may even be some instances where a broom is necessary, okay, and you can't use the vacuum cleaner. But what made me laugh was thinking that in the day and time that we live in, you know, these electronic vacuum machines that run themselves, they weren't invented for no reason. and everybody that cleans houses, you know, whether your own or somebody else's professionally, can appreciate that. So there was a reason why they were invented, right? Because we're always wanting, you know, smooth, efficient, hands-off, you know, approach to practically, you know, the vast majority of things. So in considering this idea that money doesn't grow on trees, now I personally have a repulsion. I have developed a repulsion against that statement and many other statements that are similar to it. Like I said earlier about, you know, not being able to afford it, because there are these two different ideas of how to approach, you know, a personal finance issue. And it's, well, how can we, you know, shrink this over here, minimize, budget, whatever, you know, tighten things up to be able to do X, Y, or Z. And, you know, there's this other camp that says, well, you know, let's just start asking how. Let's actually, you know, think and brainstorm and come up with a way to, you know, and over here it would be, you know, how can we use other people's money to do X, Y, or Z? How could we come up with X, Y, or Z for free? You know, I know that, so again, when I mention either one of those, you're probably in one or either of those camps, and don't shut off the thinking. Remember, Nash always encouraged us to rethink our thinking. I would too. We grow, we learn, you know, with more information, we can make new decisions. So what I'm asking us to consider here is, does money grow on trees? No. Can we, quote unquote, afford to do something by exercising discipline, implementing a budget, take other, you know, diminutive steps? Yes, we could do that. Could we expand our means, expand our knowledge, grow, develop our abilities? Yes, absolutely. That too. So again, there's merit in both of those. I think of an example from Nash's book when I think of this money doesn't grow on trees example. He would talk about how many of the conventional advisors and gurus and financial entertainers out there would ask us as consumers, as people, to consider our savings and how we could improve our rate of return or our return on interest on our savings. And most folks are not saving. And here I'm going to say that regardless of that, and this is what Nash said, the bigger picture is being overlooked. It's volumes of interest that are being paid out to those to whom we are beholden that are really what is stagnating our abilities. We've abdicated, as a culture, as a society, we've abdicated the banking function to third-party lenders, commercial banks, etc. And we are paying volumes and volumes of interest. So it may not even be the interest rate that hurts us as much as the volume of interest. When you buy a house and you live in it for, on average, let's say 7 years and then move, it doesn't matter if you're on a 15-year mortgage, 30-year mortgage, you just paid the greatest volume of interest on the years for that mortgage right when you picked up a brand new one and picked up the greatest volume years on that mortgage. And that's just one example. So we could talk about how we finance cars, business equipment, homes, anything. Either we're paying interest to someone else or we are forfeiting the economic value that could have been added to our own capital if we're paying cash for things. So whether you're in this cash is king, get a budget, beans and rice, whatever, plan over here, or you're in this, expand, grow other people's money. Let's just consider the fact that if we would become our own banker, we would own an entity to warehouse our wealth, a place where we could deploy our wealth for whatever our financial footprint is, whatever our need for finance is as a household, as a business, as an investor. We would be able to deploy that capital, accomplish our consumption or our progression in our business, whatever it is that we're doing with our money, with our funds, with our capital. And we'd have an entity and a system in place wherein we could recapture that principal plus interest, and we could just grow and scale that and grow and scale that. So I bet that this thought of money doesn't grow on trees probably elicits some ideas or concerns, some feelings, probably even in a lot of you. I'd love to be able to hear about them. Whatever you think of when I say money doesn't grow on trees, drop that in the comments on this video. I'd love to be able to get your perspective on what comes to your mind. And this is, of course, always been a great pleasure for me to discuss quotes like this. So if you have an idea on a quote, let me know what yours is. Of course, you can reach me at 828-817-4223, or you can email durhamtalents@gmail.com to send us that quote, your thoughts, and also, of course, how we can help you understand more and implement the infinite banking concept. So I look forward to our next conversation. I hope you have a great day. Take care.